Chapter 12. The funeral was held 2 days later after the attack. The Guardians were nothing less than distraught at the news. Kenneth was the one to tell them, insisting that Tremor be given his space and time to himself. It rained the day of the funeral. The Guardians' tears only added to the water that flowed from the roof of the cave into the dragon pools scattered throughout the city. The casket was ended the burial ceremony. Kenneth continually had to brush off the tears that froze up around her eyes. She made constant side glances at Tremor, who stood up at the head of the pallbearers. The other dragon didn't so much shed tears, he watched his sister's casket get low into the ground. Seeing him this way just made Kenneth cry harder. Sarah did her best to comfort Guardian friend and draped a wing over her. Tremor avoided any contact with anyone for the remainder of the week. His friends made an effort to bring him his meals to his home pavilion, but the Guardian barely touched any of his meals, not even the ones consisting of his favorite dishes. Kenneth was out flying across the city one morning, heading back to the pavilions. She had gone to the outer walls for a morning walk by herself, and had ended up running into Spyro, Sparks, and Cinder there. The four of them held minimal conversation, since none of them were in a much better frame of mind. At last, Kenneth broke away from them to head back to bring Tremor his breakfast, in hopes that he would eat today. As she glided over the pavilion rooftops, she caught sight of something out of the corner of her eye. She pitched down and came to rest in a small courtyard with a rain pool in the center of it. The dragoness immediately recognized the spot and hurried to leave, but something drew her attention. Sitting over in the corner sat a statue. It looked brand new from the way the polished stone gleamed. As she looked closer, Candace saw it was the statue of Gaia. The old dragon sat upon a small pedestal and looked at Candace. Even the figure seemed to be filled with Gaia's kind of gentle energy as it smiled at her. Candace leaned down to read a message carved into a small plaque on the platform. In loving memory of Gaia, guardian, sister, friend, I'll miss you and love you always. Your twin brother, Tremor. Candace found another tear form and freeze up on her cheek. Just before the frozen droplet could hit the ground, the dragon caught her deadly between her talons. I'll miss you, she whispered as he set the tear down in its plaque. With that, she spread her wings again and took off to find the other guardian. Candace slowly walked down the hall to Tremor's pavilion. Having seen the other guardian's last gift to her sister, she felt her spirits lift a bit. She stopped at the doorway and rapped on the entrance with her tail spade. She didn't expect Tremor to answer, so she poked her head in. Inside it was still dark. The other dragon hadn't lit any candles since he had lost his sister. Candace waited for her eyes to adjust to the darkness. She searched the chamber but found no sign of Tremor. There was a slight crash as the tray fell from her jaws. She turned and pulled out the door, and down every hallway she could see, desperately trying to find him. Where could he be? She guessed. She paused to catch her breath. He wouldn't. He shook those thoughts from her head. No, don't think like that, she told herself. She took off running again and nearly jumped over Flame and Ember. Goodness, where's the fire at? Ember stared her friend in the eye. I didn't do it. Flame raised a paw innocently. Have either of you seen Tremor? He's not in his room. No, we haven't. The Fireblaze exchanged worried glances. Could you help me look for him? Candace asked with pleading eyes. Of course, Ember nodded. We'll grab the others to help search for him. Thanks, you guys. Candace gave a half smile before taking up again. Another hour of searching passed, and still there was no sign of Tremor. Candace was beginning to grow desperate. Damn it! Why can't I find him? She slammed the paw against the ground furiously. Okay, Candace, calm down. She whispered to herself and took in several deep breaths before exhaling a cloud of frost. Now think, where would he go if he were troubled about something? After a long hard moment, the light bulb turned on in her head. She dashed off down the halls again and didn't stop until she reached the spot she had thought of. Sure enough, much to her relief, she found him. Tremor sat atop the ledge that extruded from the cave wall where she had sat with him a week before. The other dragon stared out across the city towards the outer walls and seemed to be lost in his thoughts. As Candace emerged in the cover of the pavilions, she accidentally knocked a rock off the edge. The noise caused Tremor to snap out of his chance to look at her. Hey, he said faintly. Hey, yourself. The dragon replied and took a few cautious steps towards him and paused. When Tremor didn't say anything, she got the rest of her nerves and moved closer until she was standing next to him. After a moment of staring at each other, she sat down next to him. Tremor looked at her for a long moment before turning back to looking over the city. An extended silence passed between them. After a while, Candace spoke. Did you come here to think? The other dragon nodded. Would you like to be left alone for a while longer? Candace felt the sorrow returning. Much to her surprise, Tremor shook his head. She sighed, somewhat content, and turned back to gazing at nothing. After another hour passed in silence. This time Tremor was the one to speak. You know, this was the spot Guy and I used as our secret meeting spot, he said, and nodded towards the lights they were on. Whenever we need time to ourselves, to think, to cry or whatever, we used to come here to the spot. I see. Candace looked at him. He looked like a completely different dragon from the loudmouth pain in the ass she was used to. He seemed so much deeper now, so much more challenged and almost more mature looking. Tremor turned and gazed into her eyes. Candace found herself lost in his yellow-green eyes. They had been bright yellow-green before, but now the iris seemed to be lined with a deep forest green, much like his sister's. His scales even seemed to imitate the same gradient pattern. Do you know how we got our names? Tremor broke her concentration. Candace shook her head dumbly. Tremor smiled slightly and sighed. According to what the elders said, our mother named us after the forces of nature. How so? Candace cocked her head sideways. Tremor. Not even Gaia had talked about the past history before with anyone. So why was he telling her? Gaia is the spirit of the world we live in. It flows through every living thing. Our mother thought Gaia was a perfect resemblance of that, from the way she seemed to be able to put a smile on everyone's face no matter what was going on in the world at the time. It always felt like her influence was everywhere. Candace nodded with a smile. She had noticed that about her sister many times, especially during the times when Tremor had been pouncing on her last nerve. And what about you? She asked. Tremor sort of smirked. Well, according to what I hear, I used to have this habit of shaking whenever I got excited about something. When I did, I would cause the ground to shake in response to my body. Mom thought that tremors were a sign of things to come. That when one hits, there will be a change following close behind. She always felt that I would be one to change the world in some way. He straightened up and smiled. Of course, I've done my best to break that habit over the years, so I don't give away anything I may be playing at the time. That's too bad. Candace raised her brow and the smirk spread across her lips as well. You've been warming when you're up to something. Tremor laughed for the first time in several days. The sound was refreshing to both the dragons. Well, I guess that's good for me. Then I get to have more fun that way. Dear ancestors. Candace rolled her eyes. She got up and stretched. Don't stay out here too long. I don't want you catching a cold. Tremor returned his smile. The only cold I could ever catch would be from you, Candy. That dragon is frozen down at that name again. Then she sighed and shook her head. She headed back towards the pavilions. Great, he's back, she muttered under her breath. Down below the ledge, Spyro, Cinder, and Guard of the Gardens watched the scene play out before them. Well, they're making an improvement. Cinder shrugged. She watched Candace march out towards the pavilions. Yeah, Stan nodded. But it's probably best if those two take baby steps.